Welcome to We Might Be Nerds, a podcast about everything from entertainment and technology to science and history. I'm Dylan Critchfield.
I'm Kyle Montgomery.
I'm Sarah Critchfield.
Oh, I'm not the Cookie Monster anymore. I'm Jacob Montgomery.
No, I think we've had enough talk about cookies to last for the rest of this podcast, potentially.
Yes.
I'm all cookied out.
Whether it ends this time or 100 episodes from now, it's been too much.
So I can't sell Girl Scout cookies through our show?
Jake, you had less cookies than
that's-
we did.
I don't think we can do that.
Aw, man.
But it's been a while, so we're going to do something a little different to start this off. I have a question for y'all. I want you to really think about this. Because,
My brain is on.
We, as a society, consume a lot of fiction-based media. Marvel's cinematic universe, Star Wars, Harry Potter, all these cultural cornerstones. And the question I want to touch on is, out of all of the big pop media properties out there, what universal inconsistency do you find the most irritating or baffling when you sit and think about it?
Like, when they break their own rules that they've set?
Not even just breaking their own rules, but it just, when you sit and look at it, it doesn't make sense. Just a base example is the mail system in the Harry Potter universe. Why are you using birds? People can teleport. You've got apparition, you've got port keys. I know you can't, teleport into the school grounds and whatnot, but, you've got magical bags. Have a dude teleport to within range and just walk it in. Owls are slow creatures. It doesn't make any sense.
There's a lot in Harry Potter that doesn't make sense, so I think the owls is probably the least of their concerns.
Oh, don't get me started. But,
you started yourself.
I did start myself, that's fair. But, on a broader scale, the whole, let's not introduce magic into the Muggle realm, guys, you can solve every global issue. Pollution? You don't need cars anymore. You can literally just have paid taxi wizards. Oh, I need to go across town? Apparate. Done. Oh, you need to go across the ocean? Use a port key. Transportation is solved. You want to global, mutually assured destruction? Not a problem. You shrink the nuke, you turn it around, and it pops up like a firework.
But
Conventional weaponry is rendered useless.
But it's a secret.
Yeah. I don't know much about, the lore, but I feel like it's kind of I don't know, they're hiding because maybe they tried to come out before and they were so persecuted that they just went into hiding again. But yeah, I don't know. Because maybe...
they've had, thousands of years to be okay, this is where Muggles are getting with their technology, but, we still have all this stuff that solves almost every problem they have, and hey, they have some stuff that solves our problems. There's gotta be minds good enough that they could make something work. Persecution and all that, I get it. It's a trope at this point in fiction.
Right.
But, we had I've seen the first Fantastic Beasts movie. They were still doing this back in the 1920s, and presumably centuries beforehand. The Salem witch trials were 500 years ago, guys. There's been progress in the world. Surely you can come around now.
No, they still gotta hide.
Especially, in the time of a global pandemic,
Oh, that's true. I wonder how that would affect that. If it was in-universe. Yeah, Harry Potter is easy to pick apart.
Yeah.
Very much.
It is. And that's why I wanted to use it as an example. But, there are a lot of other things, in video games and, the Star Wars universe has a couple gaping holes that I'm sure people love to pick apart, R2-D2 in particular. But, is there anything that comes to mind of, a fictional property that you've, enjoyed, but, something about it you just can't shake?
Well, it's not the first time I've had an issue with birds and something. I mean, come on, Lord of the Rings. I don't know what's going on with that.
They can't. For some reason,
I'm sure there is some sort of reason, but I can't put my finger on it.
I feel like it's the same argument as the Wizards and the Muggles and Harry Potter. It's we have an order to these things, and we have rules we abide by. Rah, 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 rah.
Yeah, I feel like there's
Mhm.
Switzerland. Like, we can't get involved in this, but then if people need saving, we can go and save them. We
Yeah.
can't actively go and destroy. Yeah, but it
That-
still doesn't make much sense.
No, it
so
doesn't.
that nation of birds is just a little too small, huh?
Yeah.
They can't
For
be
giant
attacked.
birds, yes.
But they have a bunch of bird banks that people put their money into,
Ooh.
like the Swiss.
So, yes.
Yeah, I know.
I think with Harry Potter, it's more that the society is so much more parallel to our own compared to a lot of these other universes. Some of these other universes are just either too far out of the timeline or anything like that. And so I really get why it's a lot easier to, have problems with, Harry Potter. Because, I mean, it's not that far away from where we are now. I mean, like, this thing, takes place, 30 years ago, about something like that?
Ish, yeah.
Yeah, it starts
Yeah,
like in
so-
the 90s. Yeah.
Not that
Yeah.
far.
It's easy to pick apart for a number of reasons, but like even other stuff, like to touch on the Star Wars one, like there's no reason R2, like we know everybody can understand R2 or certain people can, among them Luke Skywalker and Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi. There's no reason R2 he never got memory wiped. There's no reason he'd have been like, oh, by the way, Darth Vader, that's totally your dad. Like, oh, hey, your name's Skywalker? I know your dad. Like, right out of the gate in A New Hope. I understand the release order, but you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
Yeah, I never got that why Luke's last name, they just didn't change it. Because, I mean, Leia took, like, her adopted dad's last name, Organa, but they could have just changed Luke's last name. Because, oh, hey, you know that guy that killed all the Jedis in the like all the younglings and is now Darth Vader? He was Skywalker, and everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't. Like, maybe they think he actually died, but still.
Well, like in episode 3, he was doing rounds with the media, right?
I
With
think
politicians.
so. Yeah.
Like, they were pushing him out. Go be a hero, you know?
I mean, did they have access to, like, the Men in Black neuralizers or something like that? It's the only way that you could really wipe everyone's memory.
There's the
Everybody's
crossover we didn't know about,
Or misinformation campaigns in general. I mean, we've seen how effective those are.
unfortunately.
Or is it just such a common name like Johnson? Like, oh, those two possibly can't be related.
Oh, it's Skywalker.
You know,
it's nothing.
It's just a common name.
Smith, Jones, Miller, Skywalker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fat.
So, you reminded me of another one, Jake, where just changing a name or just one thing would completely negate the entire story. So, Tangled, Mother Gothel. Just tell Rapunzel her birthday's a different day. Problem solved.
Yeah, that does solve that whole
Mhm.
problem.
Like,
Yeah.
In a pinch.
she'd get away with it if not for those meddling birthdays.
Yep. You could always say hindsight is 2020, but that was really an easy
convenient.
solution. for
Yeah.
that
Like,
one.
move it a day. Move it one day, and that's problem solved.
I mean, she took her as a baby. She had, like, a whole window that she could have gotten away with. She could have said it was the next month. That way
Yeah.
there was no connection whatsoever.
It's not like the kid's gonna know.
No, the kid's too trusting.
Yeah.
Question everything.
I'm trying to think of ones that aren't Harry Potter. Because, yeah, Harry Potter always, like, I like it, but it's always bothered me.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to, like, their education. Do they just use magic to learn, like, gen ed stuff? Because, like, you never see them learning, like, basic English
Yeah.
or writing or, like, debate or, like,
I guess they
mathematics.
expected them to learn that before they were 10. So all of their gen eds were pre-10-year-olds. So that's, what, 4th grade level? And then they go to the school where they may die.
Yeah,
Well,
they all have 4th grade level educations, and then they just learn magic on top of that. But no,
I can see that, like, you get to a basic level of English, and you just, like, they figure out you're doing all this other stuff, English is just included in this, that's fine. Math is just included in this, that's fine.
But they never have time for that.
Like, it could just be one of those things that's glossed over.
Well,
Like,
half their time spent trying to find their dorm room again.
I hate to give J.K. Rowling the benefit of the doubt at all, but, like, it could easily just be glossed over. Like, that's because that's not interesting. That's something we find mundane. Why added into the story. That, oh, I have English class.
Because
it's not interesting.
It's words that fill pages.
Those
pages
books are so
sell
long.
books.
You think it'd be like a throwaway line, like, "Oh, I have to go to English class now," or like Muggle studies, which maybe they have that.
Yeah,
It's
just
like the
Muggle
history
studies.
of Muggles, but not.
That's what basically what Ron's dad's always doing is Muggle studies.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, but he's like ostracized by the ministry. I don't think they have that in schools. I think it's like a personal interest that they're like, he works here and we can't fire him because he's a government employee, so we're going to give him his own office so we can say he's doing something productive.
While never looking at him again.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
maybe it's
ignore
just
him.
more of,
He's just
like,
here.
Maybe it's just like an indictment of our educational system. Like, oh, kids don't actually need to be like forced to learn this stuff. They'll just pick it up while they're like doing magic stuff, you know? They can just pretend and learn.
Voice over Morgan Freeman, and they did
Right.
not learn these things.
They did not learn these things.
They don't know how to balance a checkbook.
Like in fairness, though, like, beyond 4th grade English and, like, language, by our standards, like, for 90% of interaction, you're good at that level. Anything beyond that could be elective in their society. Language could be an elective if, like, you want to be a writer or something. I'm just spitballing here. I'm not trying to justify. It just, I'm trying to make it make sense in my own head.
Yeah.
No, they're just...
It's a secret society.
Yeah, too secret.
No, it's actually just a cover-up.
They just
like,
hate
what was the
Muggles.
thing I heard somebody say where it's like, why in the Harry Potter books don't they just, instead of using a bathroom, they just go on the floor and then use magic to make it disappear?
Oh, that's disgusting, but also it's such a good point.
I mean, yeah, that's a good use of training, I guess.
I mean, what's the spell for that? I mean,
Scrubberoo.
Visas disappearus.
What, expecto patronum?
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
You got it. Okay, we can stop now.
Alright, that's... Moving on.
Well, we have our episode
Moving
title.
No, like, thinking, like...
Kyle, you're Expelliarmus out of this episode. Goodbye.
Like, again, Harry Potter's easy to pick on, and we really need to move on. Otherwise, this is just gonna, the episode title is just gonna be 4 nerds dunk on Harry Potter, because it's easy.
No, that's fine. I mean, we can poke holes in Disney stuff. I
So you mean
like
like
the
everything
seem to end
else?
up watching... Yeah, I seem to end up watching Moana a whole bunch, and I still gotta wonder, why can't the ocean just deliver the heart of Te Fiti? I don't know.
I mean, it did deliver it to one island. Why couldn't it deliver to another? That's a fair point.
I mean, it's like
Exactly.
the
It could just, go all the way out there, 1,000 years of
I
oppression.
think like
gone,
a person has to give like the heart back. Like she could bring it to the island, but a person's got to like
make the delivery.
show that they're not scared, and
It's a CAPTCHA. You gotta be
Yeah,
not an
right.
ocean.
Prove you're human.
Click on all the ones that are islands.
Oh shoot!
All right.
I mean,
Is
at
that a
point,
rock or is
There's
that
a little
Check
corner
if
of an
you were not
island
a
in one of these
wave.
pictures. Is that?
I mean, if you're just identifying islands, I'm pretty sure, what's his name? The chicken can do that one.
Hey.
Yeah, he just, is this an island?
Yeah, that kind of goes along with the Lord of the Rings though thing, Kyle, where it's like, oh, but it's about the journey.
Yeah, that's true. That's the real
The
justification.
characters, yeah.
Oh, I see. It's all about being voyagers. I see.
I mean, that's actually
An
like
actual plot and things. Yeah.
We used to be voyagers.
part of a Ghibli movie, Princess Mononoke, is that something needed to be returned by human hands. So it could be a similar theme.
Yeah,
Gosh darn it, Maui.
but like also like if we're being like completely serious for a second, all media is about the journey. The end result is just a byproduct of that. It's a payoff.
Right.
So like again, a lot of that stuff is justified. You guys ever wonder if like
The ocean demands a sacrifice.
A shrubbery.
shrubbery?
Here's a herring. There you go.
I'm not going to pick apart Holy Grail. There's nothing wrong with that movie.
There's
Absolutely
Holy Grail
Flawless.
is a
Sense.
perfect.
Just get on with it.
There's no plot holes
Yep.
at all. Just
You pull up the
moving on now.
cinema sins for that, and it's just 0 minutes long.
Mhm.
Like, oh, nothing.
Nope, nothing.
It's like,
it's a
couldn't
perfect
find
movie.
anything. hmm Fun fact about that one: the ending is the way it is because they simply didn't have the budget. They ran out of money.
Doesn't it say that in the end explicitly?
I don't
No,
know
I
if
don't
it
think it
actually
does.
says it in the end. I don't think it
Ooh,
does. It's just like they get arrested.
guess we should have
Yeah.
said spoilers for
Spoilers.
any movie that we
Whoops,
happen
spoilers.
to bring up.
Yeah, it's spoilers.
So this
Like,
episode is
there was
spoiler
actually
alert.
supposed to be a fight scene, and they didn't have the budget for it.
But yeah, it's funnier though.
It is funnier.
Yeah, no, it's a perfect ending. It would have been pretty like epic, but like that's not the point. The point is funny movie, and it does a good job. It
Yeah,
does a
it's just
perfect
Mhm.
job.
police arresting LARPers that got out of hand.
LARPers wouldn't do that.
They killed
Never.
They're
somebody.
so well behaved.
They killed a lot of people. Think
And
about
an
the Black
animal.
Knight. That was a middle school student.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I'm middle-aged
Standing in a hole.
Yeah, a middle-aged. Oh,
Ooh.
ooh,
Oh. Ooh.
Oh. Just Kyle tonight, I guess. Okay.
yeah. But like, it's, like speaking, like back to the whole universal consistency thing. I don't know how many of you like. I know Jake and I are familiar with like the Zelda timeline and the whole concept of like the 3 Zelda, Ganon, and Link are doomed to repeat this cycle forever. You ever wonder if like Ganon just showed up and like saw the whole legend about being doomed to lose forever, and just that cycle he was like, you know what? I'm not gonna this time. I'm just gonna do nothing and win for once if I'm just doomed to lose.
Like, I'm just gonna chill.
And the only reason we haven't seen that is because it doesn't make an interesting game if there's no conflict.
No, it'd be Legend of Zelda and the Perfectly Normal Day.
Oh god.
Yes.
It's just
one
a
day.
world builder sim.
That would be interesting though, like instead of like, okay, because like he's always like outwardly evil,
Yeah.
but if he instead is like, oh, I'm gonna work with you guys this time, and then tricks them, like getting really close to them, and then he can just steal like their Triforce pieces because that's what he's usually after.
Yeah, because he's always very blatant about it. Like, he might trick other people, but like, he never takes the time to really find out and like twist the knife or something. It's always just like, alright, I have an opportunity to do something evil. Oh no, here I go murdering the king again. And
Yeah.
then everybody knows.
Murder
like-
the king. Yep.
No discretion at all.
No, yeah, grand scheme. It's always just I'm evil.
I'm evil, give power.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks,
To
bye.
up his stealth game a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, Super Monkey Ball. How do they get in those balls? Where do those come from?
Oh god.
How do they breathe?
They
Yeah,
do not.
there's the
They're
oxygen.
dead. They're all dead. You're playing with zombie monkeys.
Is there even a story in those games at all?
I don't think there is, other than
It's like,
there's an evil monkey who wants to take all the bananas, and we want the bananas back. I'm pretty sure it's the whole
and
plot.
it involves balls.
Yeah, and like
Are those
insane mazes.
are the balls like oxygenators to keep the bananas fresh? Is that what's going on?
They're made out. The balls are actually made out of plants, so they photosynthesize constantly, and they take in the carbon dioxide they breathe out, and just pump the
Holy
oxygen
crap.
back in. Problem solved.
Gosh, we need that technology
Wouldn't
right
it be
now.
fun
Yeah.
to
Plant-based
those-
plastics that photosynthesized.
Yes, please.
Would there be like
Save
What
the
we
secret
call
world.
it,
greenhouse
plant sticks?
gas inside the ball? And they would
One
just
ball at a
die
time.
of heat exhaustion.
That's probably a fair point. I'm not. Yeah,
Maybe
you're probably
they-
right.
The monkey's cold
Maybe they
blooded.
get some air in there by
monkey's
rolling
cold-blooded.
around. That's why they're always rolling.
Cold-blooded monkey ball.
Ooh, mammals that are cold-blooded and photosynthesizing plastic balls. Yes, this logic we can accept.
It's fiction.
This is not Earth.
It's fiction. It's Planet Banana. It doesn't.
Planet Banana.
That's all they seem
Banana
to care
Planet.
about in those games.
This stuff is
Is
banana.
the planet a banana?
Yes.
Yes. Oh,
Yes.
plastic balls. That reminds me of Pokemon. Which
Oh.
there's tons of things in that don't make.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
you
are.
have to accept a lot to believe the Pokemon world.
Yeah, you have to accept a whole bunch. Like, first of all, like the show and the games both break that rule of like, oh, you turn 10, you can be a trainer now. And there's like the first route you have to fight like a 4-year-old with a Pidgey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a whole class
He
of
went
trainers
rogue.
called youngsters, which means that they're like younger than you, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
and they look like they're like 4 to 8. You're supposed to be 10 to have their license or whatever. I don't know if that's just for the league, if that's the in-universe explanation, but I've never actually seen it explained. If somebody can give me the actual logic for that, email us at wemightbenerdspod@gmail.com or just get at us on Twitter, please.
They got grandfathered in. You know, Grandfather Oak.
I mean, Gary got grandfathered in.
Yeah. But those are the ones that, like, inherited their Pokemon from a relative, not, like, legit got a Pokedex and...
Well, like, I think,
Yeah.
like, only the Pallet Town or whatever town trainers actually get them, right? That's the whole deal, right? Am I wrong about this?
I mean, like, in the games, but I'm pretty sure anyone from anywhere could get licensed as a Pokemon trainer. Because look at Misty, she was a gym leader, but had never been to Pallet Town at the start of the show.
It's been too long since I watched that damn show.
That
Speaking
damn
of gym
show.
leaders, do they just like have a whole bunch of badges on hand, or is it supposed to be like one badge? Like what's going on? They make those badges so special, yet like I mean,
It's like they have to
I
have a
don't-
stockpile, right? Is it like like in universe, like they have seasons for the league, right? So do they have a certain number they give out? Is it just like a checkmark challenge thing? I have to imagine they have a stockpile because
Yeah, they probably, like, order so many and have them fabricated and sent over
they're all
each
plastic.
year.
They're just pressed plastic
They're just
I don't
embossed.
know, they always look so fancy on the show.
and shiny.
Right. Yeah, because it's not like whenever you go on, like, Victory Road, they don't take them. They just, like, make sure you have them.
Yeah.
So you could just pass them off to your buddy once you get through.
Can we talk
Right.
about the
It's just like-
economy in Pokemon?
Are we
How does this
talking
work?
game or show?
Yes.
Because they're
Both.
different.
Are they really?
I haven't seen in the show where if someone gets knocked out, they lose half their cash and somebody transports their unconscious body to a Pokemon Center. I haven't seen that in the shows.
aren't there police? There's police.
There's
in
one
that
police
universe,
officer
right?
just copy and pasted everywhere forever.
Yeah.
What are they going to do about it? I mean, they're just stealing money everywhere. Is this just universally accepted?
Maybe in the show there is no money, except for the times where there is money because they don't have enough.
They have a very in-depth cashless system,
You
maybe?
need a potion.
It's linked to their Pokedex?
But Ash is the only one who has a dex in the whole series, besides Gary.
Maybe he's the sugar daddy of the group?
I don't know.
Which is
Yeah, maybe it's just how, like, their
awkward.
government healthcare works. Like, your copay is always half of your current, like, worth.
This is
Yeah.
50%.
Just 50%.
And if you
But
have no
only
money,
if you get knocked out. The Pokemon get free healthcare. You,
Right.
however,
Free
give us
universal
50%
health.
of all your money.
Yeah.
Right. I don't care if you're saving for a house. Give us half of that down payment you were saving. You passed out on the road because you lost a Pokemon battle, and now you owe us $50,000.
Yep, human rights are overrated.
Yeah, look what those humans are doing to the world.
I guess that's how they subsidize the free, Pokemon healthcare.
Pokecare for
'Cause I
sure.
would assume that Pokemon need more healthcare than the humans do, with all the fighting that they do.
Also,
Yeah.
all the hundreds of different biologies that have to be accounted for by the doctors at the Pokemon Center.
Yeah, you mean the one doctor who's also copy and pasted everywhere?
I thought that was just the nurse. There's also doctors. And
Ding, 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 ding.
I feel like
Don't do that.
it's been a while.
We're gonna get
I'm
flagged.
healed.
I'm kidding.
Nintendo's going to issue us a takedown notice any second.
Gosh
now.
darn it.
They're
They're just going to issue
listening.
me a takedown notice.
It hasn't even been published yet. They know.
Dang it.
They're always watching.
So, you think these Pokemon get pretty good digs inside those Pokeballs?
They have to,
Or is
right?
it just like a shell?
Have they ever shown that? I feel like they've shown it before, and it was just like a chill, like floating in nothing and just kind of like vibing.
Not even a couch? I mean, you gotta have a couch.
I mean, I'd prefer if it was like a cool little lounge. They get a little mini suite. And
it's just
the
playing
different
like the Pokemon
Pokeballs
theme
are...
and like music.
Because it can't be anything bad, like a sensory deprivation chamber or anything. Otherwise, they'd come out after like... Because like some of them don't get used for like 20 or 40 episodes, and they're just in the ball the whole time, and they're not insane, so like...
I don't know, they always come out ready to fight. Maybe they are insane.
I'd love to see him, like, pop out a Pokeball and be like, huh?
Yeah, because they're not like...
What am I doing
suspended
here?
animation, because there's obviously, like, they don't freak out when they...
Yeah.
Oh,
It could be a suspended animation thing, but like they're also like fed and like they're not like hungry. They're not like come out of the ball and then like maul their trainer and be like, give me food.
Yeah. just as revenge for trapping him in a Pokeball.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a big difference in the show and the game, because they do actually feed them on the show, but there isn't a mechanic in the game to, like, actively upkeep and take care of your Pokemon.
Berries.
What?
But I mean, like, your Pokemon need fed every day. That's not part of
rare
the game.
candy.
Yeah, it's not an enforced part of the game, but didn't they introduce cooking and
They
Sword and Shield?
introduced cooking and, like, camping with it, but it's not mandatory. So, like, you could go the entire game and never feed your Pokemon. That's a problem.
That's animal cruelty right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so...
why can't you capture food
Because it's not like
in a
The Sims where
Pokeball?
they have different meters, like their overall health and like their hunger and their thirst. And
Yes,
their...
they've got their needs bars.
It's just another
Right.
bar.
I want to see the Sims Pokemon mod where you
Oh,
can battle
gosh.
and you have to take care of all the different bars.
Fun fact, there is actually a Sims counterpart of Pokemon. They're called Void Critters.
That's not Pokemon.
But it's theoretically the same thing. It's Void Critters.
Void critters.
That just sounds like the worst, like, third tier knockoff.
You mean like fourth tier? Because like there's so many others that came first.
Well, because like you have Pokemon, and like what's a tier below Pokemon? Because Digimon's the same tier. So what's a tier down?
Was
from
that a Yokai
It's like
Watch?
Monster
Yeah,
Rancher
Yokai
or
Watch.
whatever that was.
And then you have
Well, then you've got other things like Cardcaptor Sakura and
like we're talking like 3 tiers below the like massively popular knockoffs, though.
oh. What was the thing you sent us, Jake, Kyle? It was a messed up Pokemon toy.
It's in Discord.
Been a while.
I bet it's right up here.
Oh, it's like one of those bad knockoffs, yeah.
Third-party Pokemon figures. What were they called? With active missile something or other.
I mean, what do you think the theme of these knockoffs would be? Would it be like, can't do gotta catch 'em all? It's like all of them must be captured.
Find an adequate amount.
Find an adequate amount, yes.
just eradicate. I don't know.
Find an adequate amount.
Wrangle them up.
Wrangle them up. That would be it.
Wrangle them. Yep.
Every single one has a Pokemon or a cowboy hat on. Wrangle them up.
Get them in the ball. Get them in the
No,
ball.
they have to be cubes. Get them in the cube.
This microphone kind of looks like a Pokeball.
Dodecahedron or something. Get them in the dodecahedron.
Get him in the Icosagon.
Right.
Just a ball that looks like an everlasting gobstopper, like from the movie. That funky looking thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It looks like one of those tumble balls from like whenever we were a kid. The thing that like vibrated and like
yeah.
spiky things coming out of it.
Prodigy Pet.
Prodigy Pet. There's the thing.
Prodigy Pet.
What is
Fun battle game. Missile function.
And they're just legit Pokemon figures. Nope.
This is like sketchy Chinese marketplace knockoff.
Except I had all of those figures. Those specific ones. I had all of those.
Oh, jeez. I don't even want to ask how.
No, like the legitimate ones.
Oh, yeah.
But those are actual copies of them.
It's got wonderful creatures like Porkachu and Bulbasaur.
Porkachu is just a pig with a battery and bleeds attached. Oh no.
In Cheermander.
Cheermander, complete with pom-poms.
If things go wrong, Porkachu just evolves into bacon.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Name it Chris.
Yeah, if you give it a Firestone.
It turns into Baconzilla.
Oh. No, Pokemon, like, the show has a lot more inconsistencies than anything, though, because, like, they can teleport the Pokeballs, right?
Yes.
So why can't you teleport a person? Like, you can teleport an object, why can't you just scale that up? You guys have obviously figured this out, right?
It's about the journey.
Okay, but can we talk
Listen
about
here.
the actual journey of the show and the fact that Ash actually dies the first episode to a flock of Spearow
here we
and
go.
all of this is a fever dream afterwards?
Yeah, because the kid hasn't aged in 30 years.
No.
No, I'm sorry. He has aged. He's 13 now.
Oh, 3 years.
Oh, it's just like The Simpsons.
It's kind of, yeah, actually.
But I mean, if you think that it's all a dream, everything makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Like, he dies and he sees a golden bird that takes him to heaven where he just lives a fever dream for the
Or
rest
he's
of his
just
days.
in purgatory and he thinks he's part of everything and he's watching the world from the sidelines. That is depressing.
Which would explain that he never won, except I think he did actually win a Pokemon League in the recent
I
season.
think he finally did. It only took him 29 years.
Should they have just ended the series once he finally won and got that master title, since that was the whole thing? And, like, new protagonist?
I mean, I think they tried to
Probably.
do new
I'm
protagonists.
sure.
Like, they tried to cycle him in and it just didn't work. It's kind of like how Toriyama can't get rid of Goku as the main character.
Like, they should have just Doctor Who'd the whole Pokemon situation from the start. Like, every time there's a new region, just start with the protagonist from that game.
Yes, that would be wonderful. Like, okay, here's a new
They're just all
character,
called
new
the same
story.
thing. They're all called Ash, but it's just
They're
a different.
Ooh, no.
Yeah, no, it's a different Ash. Because, like, Ash is a perfectly gender-neutral name, so, like,
True.
you don't have to, like... like, it's just... No, let's just have him regenerate. Just go full Doctor Who ripoff. I don't care. Just make
Yeah.
it not Ash Ketchum anymore,
Okay,
please.
who? I don't want to poke anybody. No poking.
No poking.
No poking. Oh, no poke.
No poke.
Slow poke.
But what were we talking about?
Inconsistencies. Can we talk about how Team Rocket should be dead? Like, every time? Like, how do they survive that fall damage? Like, you want to talk about inconsistency.
Well, I think rule of funny overrides all of that.
Yeah, because it's
they're
that or
bas-
they're gods.
They're the Looney Tunes of the Pokemon universe.
This is Truny Tunes.
Well, they do have a cat, so, like, you know.
A talking cat at that.
A self-taught talking
Just
cat.
right on the back of the cat. Just somehow make their way onto the back of the cat. The thing is always going to land on its legs.
Okay,
There you
but
go.
from
Yeah.
that distance,
There
it's
you
still
go.
going to break its legs every time.
No, you know what? No, Meowth is just an Egyptian god, and that's how they always survive.
Okay, I'll
No.
accept that. Yeah, but, like...
So what if Meowth just breaks the fall and he always just faints? And they can, like, revive him, but then they're okay.
That makes sense. And then
I
later
mean-
on, they have Wobbuffets, and he's like built to absorb damage, so it's good.
Well, using Meowth as their scapegoat for the fall, the Meowth gets free healthcare. Jesse and James do not.
That's a great
Yes.
point.
Oh, it's so terrible, though. Like, hey, you cat, you're gonna take
I guess this
one.
is why adults aren't supposed to play Pokemon. We overanalyze it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but we play anyway.
I'm sorry, Jake, what were you saying?
No, I wasn't. That's, yeah, end of my thought.
Oh,
It's just terrible. Mistreating
Yeah,
the
it's
poor
just-
animal.
I mean, they get free healthcare. Like, if that works, like, I'm not saying it's ethical, but
Absolutely
like,
not.
it's Team Rocket. They're not supposed to be, right? They're
Yeah.
the mafia, or whatever organized crime you want to parallelize them with.
It doesn't mean they're good
Well-
at it.
No, they're bad at it. They've shown that over, again, 20 years of only being 3 years.
Gosh. And yeah.
Okay, hold on. Bear with me with this one. Every time that Meowth gains a level or levels up, does he get his lives back? All 9 of them?
But he's never actually in battle to gain experience.
That's true.
Well,
Isn't he, though? Is he, though?
It's an assist. It's an assist.
Like, if Meowth is assisting the team, is that like a double battle?
So then, as long as he's involved in fights, I mean, who needs healthcare then?
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's basically an I mean, he could have an EXP share and we just don't see it.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's possible.
Okay, and that just reminded me that, like, what if I was trying to think, like, was it like one of the daycare situations in the game? Because in the game, you can take your Pokemon to a daycare, and they raise the levels when you're not with them somehow. But I guess
Which one, Mr. Blee or Orphan Evil?
Hey, take those names out of your mouth. I'm trying to figure out, like, but besides the like, besides rare candies and the daycare, like, is there any other way to, like, level up?
Recently they introduced, you gain experience for catching Pokemon. You don't have to actually defeat them, but you get a portion of experience for the capture.
But, like, aside from, like, combat, though, like, it's basically combat, daycare, and candies.
The camping mechanic does actually grant experience the longer you bond with your Pokemon. So they did add that in the games. So I guess that's been in the show the entire time.
And the technology of the game just finally caught up.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
But I'm just trying to figure out, like, if the daycare actually is just, like, a black market underground fighting ring.
For level 1 Pokemon. For baby Pokemon.
Right.
That makes
Baby
more
fights.
baby Pokemon. So they're both the fight rings and they're like Pokemills.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
That's terrible, and it's a self-replenishing resource because if the one they produce gets sent to fight, and oh god, that's terrible.
Mhm.
And they can market them because the new ones get special moves from the parent.
It's all a scheme. It's all every mechanic of Pokemon games and shows is some sort of criminal ring, and you can't prove me wrong.
Well, it's not criminalized if it's
What are we-
legal. In that world, it is legal.
Do you think anyone knows what we're talking about at this point?
I don't know what we're talking about at this point. We need to move on to a different property or topic at this point. God.
I'm very
It got
interested.
dark. It got dark.
You're just getting too close and you're getting scared.
Yes, I'm scared that Reggie Fils-Aimé is going to start working for Nintendo again and kick down my door. And he's like, "My body is ready. Are you ready to go to Nintendo jail?"
Ooh.
Nintendo Jam.
Let's switch it up.
Be judged by a court
actually,
of our
you know what? The new
peers.
CEO is Doug Bowser. Bowser's just going to knock down our door and burn our house down if we don't stop.
That is the most amazing thing. Did you know about that, Kyle?
What?
That the current president of Nintendo America, his last name is Bowser.
Yeah, his name is
Oh
Doug
my
Bowser.
gosh.
It's perfect.
Excellent.
From
I mean, was
birth,
that
yeah.
his birth name,
think,
or did
I
he change
think
it?
they might have been biased.
I think it's
don't
his birthday.
know.
It is his birthday.
Because that sounds like the perfect pen name
Oh,
or
jeez.
pseudonym.
Yeah, it does.
Quick
But
question about Bowser. Is Bowser a turtle or a dragon?
yes,
It's both.
he's both.
Why?
There's a Pokemon that looks like Bowser that is a dragon. It's in the new set.
Why is it about Pokemon?
Stop making it about Pokemon, Sarah. We know you're a human Pokedex. Come on.
He's a water
Is that a
empire type.
problem?
We just tried to move away from it, and you're bringing us back. It's like,
Okay, this is the nerdy Kevin Bacon. Everything leads back to Pokemon.
no, look, we jumped off the
Harry
ship
Potter,
and started
Pokemon,
rowing
Lord of
away
the
in
Rings,
the lifeboat,
Pokemon.
and you just shot a cannonball through the lifeboat, threw a lifesaver at us, and started reeling us in.
Well, I hope you can swim.
All right, Sarah, let's see how you can relate Marvel to Pokemon. Go.
How I can relate Marvel to
You're just a
Pokemon?
Pokemon Go.
Ha
Well, there you go. Jake did it.
Eat your heart out, Niantic.
Let's see.
I mean, Thanos wanted those 6 badges so he could take
Oh,
on the
they're all
Universe
colorful.
League.
Yeah. Gosh
Jesus.
darn it. But that means he's missing a few colors.
No, there was only 6 for that
Ooh.
one.
Yeah.
Like, it's something they never. I wish they would have done in the games is like different. No, I'm not going to let you reel me back into Pokemon.
You started. You gotta finish.
Pokemon.
Like in the show, there's the Orange League, which only has 4 badges, right? Like, and at some point in Indigo, Gary shows he has 10 badges, even though he's just in Indigo League.
Yeah.
There's only 8 badges there. Where'd you get the other 2? Gary Oak is cheating.
No, he went to all.
He's printing his own badges.
He maybe is.
Sneaky.
He goes to the daycare to buy badges. Trades Pokemon for badges.
He's been in the underground fighting gyms. That's where he got those other badges.
Well, if you remember in the show, there are actually other gyms. They're just not like the big official accredited ones in the game.
So you can get unaccredited gym badges and still get league points for them?
If they're like recognized by the league as an official badge, yes, you only need a minimum of 8.
We're talking like fake universities here. There are universities that aren't accredited. You can get a degree, but no one's going to recognize them. If they're not accredited, why would the league recognize them?
So is that the name of the episode? Don't get a gym badge from DeVry.
or maybe he visited the dark web, which was spun by a spinnerack or something like that.
Yes.
Oh man, that's not even Gen 1. Good job, Kyle.
Good job, Kyle. I'm
Gen
proud.
2.
You don't play Pokemon that much. I am proud.
No, I don't, but I know that one.
He's my dude.
He's my dude. He's my guy.
This dude's my jam.
See your soup though.
Can we think of any other universal inconsistencies that don't wrap us back into Pokemon? We've talked about Pokemon for the better part of 30 minutes at this point.
Is it sad that I'm looking around my office to try to find other IPs to think about?
All right, Kyle, you've mentioned Marvel and Disney. Rip them apart. What you got?
Ooh.
Well, we barely went into Disney. I mean, come on.
Well, it's about
like we went to like.
Let's break some more
2
Disney
properties.
movies. Frozen, for example. The whole situation could have been avoided if, like...
Family communication?
Yeah, just communicate. Talk like normal human beings.
Uh-huh.
Then your parents wouldn't have had to leave to find a solution for you and get killed.
Mm-hmm.
Parents are still alive. Place never freezes over.
Mm-hmm.
Honesty would have solved
Therapy
it.
is good. Like,
Yeah.
nobody in Disney
the moral
gets
of the
therapy.
Story, don't listen to your parents.
Oof.
Oh, no, that's...
No, the parents need therapy too. Come on. Everyone needs a little help.
Okay, so we're talking about Frozen. Is Olaf his own sentience, or is he part of, like, a fracture of Elsa's brain?
Ooh, that's... He's her carefree childhood? And
'Cause,
her
like-
inquisitiveness?
Because on the second movie, when she's, like... She doesn't die, but she, like, becomes, like frozen herself,
Mhm.
and Olaf disappears. But then when she comes back, he comes back.
I think they justified it that he's kept alive by her magic. So when she kind of got paused, so did he.
Yeah, but that's a justification.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whereas, what's the real answer? Is he his own consciousness, or is he a fraction of hers?
I think the consciousness is himself. His own existence is based upon her, though. I think that those are 2 separate things. He's got his own personality.
They're separate linked entities.
I know that trauma can be a cause of, like, multiple personality disorder, except in this case, it just manifested as Olaf. All the suppressed, like, happiness and joy and stuff just got sucked into Olaf when she manifested him.
Mhm.
That's what I choose to believe. That's my headcanon.
Yeah, because their personalities do not mesh at all.
Yeah, so I'd say it's his own personality that is born of, like, the broken fragments of her mind. Would be, like, my kind of answer.
Yeah, because it gets creative when she's, like, going off on her own and, like, casting off, like, her past, basically.
Yeah.
Which that
Yeah.
kind of makes sense. Dang,
Yeah, no.
that's even deeper than I thought.
Damn. Yeah, no, I forgot that, like, he basically came to be when she was just, like, throwing magic around on top of a mountain and then just, like...
oh, I give up. All this stuff sucks, so I'm just not going to carry it with me anymore.
Yeah. Like, letting it go, just... I guess
Sing for us?
Does that mean that Marshmallow is, like, cast aside anger? The giant, like, ice golem thing?
Maybe.
I don't know. He's more of a defense mechanism.
It was more
she
anger
was-
manifest, you know?
Like,
I think she was more scared at that point, and it's just like defensive reaction. That's her fight or flight response.
ooh, manifestation of fight or flight makes a lot of sense.
So all of her snowgies are part of her personality too?
That are part of her psyche, at least.
Marshmallow doesn't actually try to hurt anyone. He just yells, don't come back.
I mean, he did throw them off a cliff. That does hurt people.
No. They cut themselves off a cliff.
That's right.
No.
No, Kyle,
Semantics.
Kyle's got a point.
I've only seen this
I've
movie
seen this
100
movie 20
times.
million times.
Are you just giving Kyle points because he lost on all our quizzes?
Yes.
Maybe.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, Dylan.
No, like, I've seen the movie a ton too. Like, I know that you're right, is what I'm saying.
No, this is fun. Okay, so another movie, Wall-E. All right, so
Wally.
they're presumably off the Earth for what? Like it was a Septuacentennial
So 700 years?
of their 5-year cruise,
So 700
or something like
years,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, 700 years.
Enjoy your free
I mean-
Septuacentennial cupcake.
I mean, isn't there just like absolutely no way that there is sustainable life? Period.
Like, if the ship has its own ecosystem, and you're flying past stars to get light for the, like, plants and stuff, and you have, like, a water purification system and a soil, like, I can see it being self-sustaining given the scale of that ship.
The whole point was that they didn't have any plants.
Like, days some big boys when they come back. I'm sure that there are some difficulties for them to get the oxygen they need already.
Yeah, and Sarah just made a fantastic point that, like, the whole point is they don't have any plants. I forgot about that.
Yeah, everything's artificial on the ship because plants didn't survive.
I mean, if you have sufficiently advanced technology to, like, artificially make basically anything, I guess it's a Pixar movie. I know you can't think too much about it, but at the same time, like, you're right. I don't think there's a way it makes any logical sense from, like, any form. We're talking about technology that borders on magic and any sufficiently advanced technology, yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they find this plant like literally inside a refrigerator.
It looked like a potato plant, and
there
potatoes grow everywhere.
That's true.
Although it would have been more realistic if it was a dandelion.
Yeah, but how much? They still need to have some sort of moisture, do they not?
And sunlight. I mean, like, the top of them has to have sunlight, right?
Not really. I've seen potatoes straight up grow in, like, just in a dark, cold place.
Well, in that, if you go back, that fridge, the door was broken, so there was light that was getting in.
Okay. That's true. But still, yeah, I don't know how there is oxygen on the planet still, if there hasn't been, like, the exchange.
Yeah, like, the planet has to be dead if they've been gone 700 years, and that's the first planet they found. Either that, or they just don't show us the parts of the planet that are still sustaining oxygen. We don't have the whole... I feel like with the planet, we don't have enough of the full picture.
Yeah, because it could have been all the plant life died, but there could have still been, like, marine algae that can photosynthesize and make oxygen.
Yeah, maybe that's what they have on the ship, yeah.
Yeah, like, we don't get a full picture of the planet, so I can't speak to that.
Yeah, the only full picture we get is when it's panning in and everything's surrounded by satellites and it's dirty and it's gross.
Yeah. But even then, that's like a half, we see it like a hemisphere. Like,
Yeah.
I know I'm getting pedantic and I'm sorry for that. But like the ship, there's no way. You're right, Kyle, there's no way.
Also, is fire extinguisher adequate propulsion mechanism to actually, move you in space?
There's not enough chemical in a fire extinguisher for that routine he was doing. No.
I mean, unless it's like, but again, future material. They could hit some sort of material science where they can compress. It could just be a completely gas-based fire extinguisher that happens to... Because the vacuum of space is cold, right? So it could go from a condensed gas to a semi-solid state by getting decompressed.
But is it adequate propulsion to dance around a ship the size of the Axiom?
With an adequate level of compression, yes.
For as long as they did, I don't think so.
Again, we're talking about material sciences from 1,000 years from now, so... Who
700.
No, it was only, it was roughly, like...
1,000 years from our time frame is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that being said...
I don't think by and large really put in the tech for that. Put in the
Was it a fire extinguisher that came from when they first boarded the Axiom, or the one 700 years later? Like, how did they...
Because they don't seem to have changed much. I don't think they were doing much R&D on the ship.
But it's still 300 years. Who knows what we could compress in 300 years? Right? And look at how data compression has changed. Who's to say they can't figure out physical compression?
Inside the fire extinguisher has a pocket dimension that summons gas.
Alright, now we're thinking with portals, and okay. I believe it. No.
Okay, you'll buy portals, but you won't buy... Okay. I see how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could buy a portal, I would.
Okay, I did pull this up. It looks as if the Axiom was launched in 2105. So we're talking about technology that is only, I mean...
Like, in theory, 80 years away.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, we better get on
like
it.
About
We're
100
slacking.
years when the movie first came out.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that kind of technology has gotten that much better in that time, especially since the world was looking more and more to become convenienced.
I mean, that's what we're pointing towards now, if we're being honest.
Well,
yeah, but there's a lot more initiative now to not go that way.
That's not going to stop corporations.
It's
which
not.
is the whole thing of the movie, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot more activism against it that maybe there's a little bit of hope.
Well, here, as long as our president is also not the president of a large corporation, I think we're still okay.
I forgot that part of the movie.
I forgot about that.
But I was also thinking something really dark. Okay, like you're giving like the timeline of like when the movie happened, but it would be funny if like they left like say 700 years before the sun like turns into is like a red giant. I can't remember what.
Yeah.
And they come back and they're like, "Oh yeah, we have a planet. We're back on our planet." And then right then is when the sun starts expanding.
Oh no! Like,
Hey,
oh boy, it's hot in here, guys.
Okay?
Was it this hot 700 years ago?
You flip back to that second episode of the new Doctor Who series where they're on the space station watching the Earth get absorbed by the expanding sun. You just see a ship land as they're coming out of the TARDIS, and then you see there it's like, oh hey, they're recolonizing. Oh.
And then they're all
Maybe they shouldn't have done that.
I say, what is this gigantic fireball?
What is this giant plasmatic fireball that's rapidly moving towards us?
Oh, this must be a solar flare. This is we'll survive it.
It's just a solar flare. It's fine.
This is fine. Did you bring the sunscreen?
About that time, eh?
Bring the sunscreen.
Oh, that's the
SPF 5000.
That's just so sad. Like, yeah, they're just trying to find plant life again, and they finally do, but then they're just out of time.
Yeah.
That's what we get for procrastinating.
That's the thing, though. Like, you've been in space for 700 years. Just find another planet.
Yeah,
True.
Again, I don't think they put a whole lot into science and discovery, because they could have been focused on finding any habitable planet.
Yeah,
but instead they were focused. Well,
it was all convenience.
It was all convenience, and
by and large is your superstore.
Yeah, and they were dead set on going back.
We got
home.
all you need and so much more.
But then the conspiracy that they're not actually going home, because by and large knew they messed up the planet for good.
Yeah.
Like, that's another part.
So I can't remember, like, on the movie, are they, like, outside of, like, the solar system? They're, like, in a different...
They're way off. Like, they're nowhere near us now.
Okay. Yeah, so you'd think they would find at least another planet, but I don't know if it's just because the whole ship was programmed to, like, once we find plant life, go back to Earth. Yeah.
Yeah. They never gave it another directive, and all these bots were very directive-based.
Right.
Directive-oriented.
Directed.
Very goals-oriented is how we would put it in the business world.
Very
Ooh.
singularly goal-oriented.
Single-minded.
Yeah.
And his ability to accomplish a task.
And their 3-year plan and their 5-year plan and their 700-year plan is the same document.
Yep, it's all the same. Yep. I'm still working on that report, boss.
Fine plan, go back to Earth.
Solid plan. I mean, obviously it worked.
Mm-hmm. You have to admit the idea of a pizza plant it's just adorable.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just a plant that grows a pizza.
I have one more.
So
It's in
ambitious.
the Pixar universe.
So cute.
Okay.
And we can go over to Toy Story. And especially with Toy Story 4.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, you haven't?
I
Okay.
haven't.
Oh no!
I'm
He has not. I
sorry.
have.
But do you know about Forky?
I know about Forky, yes. Okay.
Okay.
Trash.
So
Trailers.
what gives a material in that world sentience? Like, when does it become a toy?
A child's love.
Is it all just such a... But, like, that doesn't make any sense, because, like, on the second one, you see, like, all these toys inside of a toy store, like, moving around. Unless it's, like, the little bit of love that comes from, like, the kids that saw the toy.
And admired them.
I guess.
Other than that, it's either that or it's like darker. Like let's get into like
They're a fragment of the child's being.
no,
like,
no,
Olaf.
I'm trying to think of it. Not like the concept of greed, but like the concept of wanting to own things by kids. Like the covetous nature of children gives them life, and the fact that Forky was made something that somebody could want is what gave him life.
I think I believe that one a little more because go back to the first movie. You'll notice that Sid's toys all have life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't really love his creations. He wants to blow everything up.
But he still wants them for a purpose.
I suppose
They are
yeah,
wanted for something. It doesn't have to necessarily be a positive nature. It doesn't have to be love. It's just, I want this. Like just
exactly, which is why I think that works
want
out
it.
so much better.
Somebody wants it for something, for some purpose.
So desire breeds life.
So yeah, like the second one, the whole thing is like this guy collecting like all the
he
toys
covets
that came
them,
with
yes.
Woody. Yeah, so yeah, maybe that's what it is.
That's dark.
I know. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know, like how much you have to destroy the toy before it loses its life. You know, like
They go
'Cause, like,
through a lot.
yeah, I know, and they're all afraid of like the incinerator on the third one, but like
Or
Sid,
Sid
can, like,
on the first one.
but Sid can like rip them apart and put them back together, and they still
Like, that
can
has to
deal
be
with-
horrifying, though, to get blown apart and still be sentient.
It
That's
does.
horrifying. It's like, that's the worst kind of body horror you can think. You're in fragments and you're still conscious and you can still feel the pain all the time. You're blown to microscopic bits and you can still feel it.
Yes.
No.
Wait, are we talking about
Combat
Dragon Ball
Carl
now?
Is at peace.
We're not talking
He's
about
good.
no. We're not talking about Dragon. We're talking about toys. We're talking about green army men that got firecrackers strapped to them.
Oh, that's why I'm talking about Combat Carl.
That's what he
That
looked
is
like in the
Combat
first
Carl.
one, yeah, and then they changed him to look like the little 6-inch GI Joes on the
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
in the
fourth
fourth
one.
one. Yeah.
It just always bothered me, especially when Forky came. Like the minute is it like she puts the eyes on it and then he becomes alive, or is it just like a certain amount of believing this is like a toy instead of just an amalgamation of different objects?
I think it's the belief that it is worth something to someone. Or that it could be worth something to someone that gives them life. That's the whole thing I'm putting forward.
So is it only children, though? Because,
right, because...
no, because in the second one, the collector was not a child.
That's true. Oh, shoot.
So, if I want a cup of coffee, is my coffee going to become sentient? Because that's a problem
Like,
for me. I
think
cannot consume my coffee
But
if
it
it's
doesn't
talking
have
to me.
eyes and a mouth.
I think it's not a toy is the answer. I think it's only toys for whatever reason in that universe.
But it's a toy if I were to splash it on you, and I was getting
is that
enjoyment
a toy
out
or
of
is
it.
that a weapon? I'm pretty sure it's what.
I drink iced coffee, for the record. I drink cold coffee.
I don't even think they have to have eyes, because, like, you see, like, trucks move around on their own, like the Speak and Spell. And the Etch-a-Sketch doesn't have eyes.
I don't think it has to have a likeness.
No. With the Speak and Spell, you can definitely put eyes on the Speak and Spell.
There is one
googly
eye on
eyes.
it, at least, I guess.
Letter eye.
Okay, that's enough.
Okay.
Speak and Spell, the one-eyed wonder.
One-eyed Speak and Spell.
I.
Speak and Spell the pirate. I only got one R. Yar.
Yarg.
Why am I here? Oh no.
These eyes are functional.
That's the other thing. How does the batteries thing work with toys? Like, is it still sentient and just the kid can't use it? Like,
I think that's the logic, is that, they just need the batteries.
Like, it's conscious,
for
it just
their
can't.
human
That's even
function.
more horrifying, though, because, like, you're conscious and you can't do anything because you don't have batteries.
I mean,
It's
I kind of feel that
paralysis.
way some days.
Is that the toy equivalent to night terrors? Is running out of batteries?
I think.
Do they see demons?
Or is it like, I don't know. Yeah, because like the RC car, once it runs out of batteries, it can't move. But like Woody, who doesn't have batteries, can still move.
Yeah.
He's
So,
just
like-
a tired boy.
He's a tired
But like,
boy.
the RC
Tired
car
boy.
was still aware and conscious.
he
It
But
just
he can't
couldn't move. He
Yeah.
just becomes paralyzed.
Yeah, it's just paralysis, which is, on its own, like, I am conscious, but I can do nothing about it. It's terrifying.
I'm just a watcher now, watching the world go by.
Well, I think we've done enough creepy conjecture on Toy Story.
No. One more.
Oh, God.
Yes, let's hear it.
Okay, in the first movie, if Buzz Lightyear is so convinced that he's not a toy, how come at any sight of Andy he switches right back into a toy?
Yeah, what switches the consciousness, and why can Woody break that?
Uh-huh.
They all have dissociative identity disorder. Buzz just wasn't aware of it.
I don't know.
I mean,
It was just a subconscious tick.
I'll take subconscious tick, but
He thought he needed to trust the locals and do as the locals were doing.
I mean, that actually does hold water, because the only reason Woody revealed, like, the toys revealed themselves to Sid was they did that intentionally and consciously fought that instinct. That would still hold water, I think.
I suppose.
I don't know.
Buzz was just very, very brainwashed.
I know. And then you can get into like security cameras and be like, how has like no, like closed circuit security monitor never seen like a toy move if they're on constantly? And like,
Well, except they've been shown on CCTV in the
Yes,
movies.
that's
In
true.
the Al's Toy Barn.
yeah, and in the daycare.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Isn't that how the teddy bear, like, tracks them? But is that the daycare CCTV, or is it his?
The daycare was like the monkey.
Yeah, the monkey.
What
Well,
was
the
it like?
bear
Like
was,
the
yeah.
The
like,
bear was like...
Oh, but the
the
bear was
charge of
the
the
main.
monkey,
Yeah.
Yeah. That monkey's so creepy.
Just
He
organized
is.
toys.
It doesn't make any sense.
Lotso's a creep too. Goodness gracious.
I'm still waiting for, like, I know they're doing a Buzz Lightyear spin-off movie,
Uh-huh.
but I want, like, Sid's, like, childhood therapy after that event would be a much more interesting movie.
I agree fully, because how did he go from that to, like just chilling and
able to
being a cool
function.
garbage dude? Like,
Yeah.
he seems
Just, like,
happy.
completely break mentally.
Like, how did that whole first therapy session go? Toys are conscious, and they traumatized me. Like, I
Yeah,
don't. How does
they
that?
talk to
Shock
me,
therapy.
Yeah, like, what did they put him through to get his head screwed back on right?
I don't know. Yeah, I want to see that. That would be my pitch to Pixar.
All right.
It's a Toy Story
Let's
1.5.
start a
Or just a
Petition.
short, just Sid's therapy session.
I would watch it. I'd watch the crap out of that.
Sid gets help.
Sid gets help.
Sid gets help.
After Sid's backyard.
After Sid's backyard is good.
Especially since I can like kind of sympathize with them, because I know I did a lot of that kind of stuff to toys I had as a kid. Like either
Mostly
putting
Lego
them on-
dudes.
Yeah, or putting them on the train tracks, or at a BB gun that just shoot them with. Like,
This is
we
terrible.
melted some army men.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, what kid didn't?
right.
Right?
I mean, I didn't have train tracks in my backyard like you guys did.
I know.
No, we just put a bunch of aluminum cans in the track. That's all we did.
I think it's time we've
Or do we have any other things to destroy? We barely touched Marvel, other than that Thanos wants to be a master of the Pokemon League.
Excellent.
I can't, like, I know there are holes, but, like, nothing comes to mind. But I do think, I think that this topic of, like, having fun with the inconsistencies in universes and just questioning the logic of the universes has been a fun exercise. And I think it's something we should return to. Maybe not next episode, but this is something we should definitely return to and put a little more thought into which properties and like present arguments and go back and forth. This has been a lot of fun.
It was a good Yeah.
Yes, it has.
And I would just like say too, like just because like we find inconsistencies with things doesn't mean like we hate them. Like all the things I think we talked about tonight, we all like.
Yeah, I think people pick things apart because they enjoy them, and it's another way to have fun with something you enjoy.
Right.
I will point out an inconsistency with Marvel, but it was, I will say that it was, they had artistic license with it, so they didn't stick to the source material. Hela is not Loki's sister, she is his daughter in Norse mythology, but that wouldn't be as fun.
I think the next episode we need to just pick Sarah's brain on her Norse mythology knowledge, because there's a lot of it. She has a human Pokedex and a human Norse mythology encyclopedia.
Sorry.
And we should exploit that for content. Love you.
Ooh.
Is this a test?
Content.
Is the next episode a test?
The next episode is called Sarah's Test.
Alright, so you guys make me a
Doesn't she
Pokemon
already
and
won all the
Norse.
tests? Like,
no, she's already won all the quizzes.
Well, this
can't
will
do
be
this.
all three of you against
she can't
me.
lose.
Yeah, we can't give her a quiz she can't lose. Well, we will have to visit that sometime. But,
that would be good.
Yeah, but thank you so much for joining us on this episode as we picked apart the things we enjoy. We hope that you enjoyed it as well. We should be back on a semi-regular schedule from now on.
No promises.
If you'd like to hit us up on social media, we can be found on Twitter at MightBeNerdsPod. If you want to reach out to us, we have an email address at WeMightBeNerdsPod@gmail.com. I don't think we're going to have any show notes from this one, since it was more discussion than anything, and also I have to fix the site because it deleted some of our show notes. I think our web host had a rollback, so oops. I'm going to have to fix that. But again, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you giving us your time, and we hope you enjoyed the episode, and we'll see you in the next one.
And if we said anything just blatantly wrong, please correct us.
Yeah, please do correct us. Send us an email. Tell us
Especially Dylan. Correct him.
Please correct me. Tell me I'm wrong. I want to learn more. If you're not learning every day, you're doing something wrong. Any plugs this week, or are we ready to close it out?
I mean, I'm not sure. I know recently we had a little bit of fun with the leak of Windows 11.
Oh,
did you have any words on that?
Oh, I think that's something we can. That's something I do want to dive into next time. There are a lot of new details. Kyle and I played around with the leaked build a couple weeks ago before the official announcement, and the official insider build is out now. A lot more details are out now, but I actually want to play with the operating system on hardware rather than a virtual machine before we dive into it. But I do think we will definitely dive into Windows 11 a bit next time.
Awesome.
Any other plugs or any things we want to tease for the next episode? Because Windows 11 has to, we do have to talk about that.
Gotta do it.
Gotta do them
This
all.
is a
Gotta
nerd
do them all.
podcast.
Gotta do it.
All right. Again, thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. I'm Dylan Critchfield.
I'm Kyle Montgomery.
I'm Sarah Critchfield.
I'm Jacob Montgomery.
If you enjoyed this episode,
You might be a nerd. Are you guys nerds?
You might be a nerd 3?
oh, okay, that's it. I'm fading us out now.
You might be a nerd 4.
I don't know how to hang out. Oh, no.